So obviously, there is the elephant in the room now, which is the reason, the topic of conversation that needs to be had, which is the reason why, as you can see, this channel has lost 100 subscribers in the last 48 hours. And is going to probably lose another 100. Like, I reckon I'll go below 60K. So if you guys are, if you guys want to subscribe to someone that's actually going to give an opinion and not just parrot what or is going to give an actual opinion, whether it's liked or not, subscribe. If not, help us get below 60K, I guess. But yeah, so the Indiana Fever are 4-0 without Caitlyn Clark. They're undefeated. They made the finals they nearly made the finals without Caitlyn Clark. And the 2025 Fever are back. The way they are playing is a style of play that clearly works for the players on this team when Caitlyn's injured, obviously. And one thing is, like, you can see people in and around the organization. The 3 keys to the game. The keys: sprint back on defense. And I got to be very clear, that is probably one of Caitlyn's actual, and people want to talk about Caitlyn's flaws as a player. That is actually one of them. For me, I think a lot of Caitlyn's flaws come with her strengths, as in the turnovers is because she's looking to make things happen. She is a super aggressive playmaker. So I don't necessarily think that that Caitlyn Clark is that is a negative. I don't think the turnovers are necessarily a negative on Caitlyn Clark's game, purely because of all the good things in her game, turnovers are inevitable. Like, the turnovers are inevitable. The problem is, like, the getting back on defense sometimes is definitely an issue. And that's when, if we're talking about flaws of Caitlyn Clark, that is 1,000,000% a flaw of Caitlyn Clark as a basketball player. Singles, not home run passes. And everything is just about no turnovers, no turnovers, no turnovers. You are not going to be a low turnover team when Caitlyn Clark is on your team. You're just not. And even when Caitlyn's off the floor, if Caitlyn Clark is on your team, there's going to be turnovers. Why? Because high pace, if you take risks and you push the floor, you're going to turn the ball over. Like, if you are a team that is a proactive team, you're going to turn it over. You're going to have more assists. You're going to create more open shots, but you're going to turn it over. And the problem is that you can mitigate high turnovers if you're creating consistent open shots. Like, if high turnovers come at the expense of a lot of open shots, it is what it is. It is what it is. But not home run passes is basically we're not the biggest fan. People are like, oh, this isn't the team. Like, the team are posting this. I know it's a journalist, but the team are posting this. It's very, very clear that, again, this is being posted on the team's account. This is a shot at Caitlyn Clark. And again, this is not some sabotage thing. This is a criticism of her game. This is someone clearly who doesn't like Caitlyn's game. And again, we've got to be very clear. There is completely not justified criticism, but there is blind hate, which is like the David Dennis Jr. guy. Nothing Caitlyn Clark will ever do will be enough for him. And then there is people that just don't like a high-risk style of basketball. And it feels to me like from top to bottom, this organization is a whole bunch of people that don't like high-risk basketball. It's a whole bunch of people that want the way it was. They want low risk. They want the Indiana Fever to be a team that's, solid. That their whole goal is to be as solid as possible. And there's nothing wrong with that view of the sport of basketball. I would love to go out there and say, oh no, this is a terrible thing, but it's just two different philosophies on the sport of basketball. And for me, this feels like everything in this organization, everything surrounding this organization is on the side of, we would rather be solid and mistake-free than be aggressive and making mistakes. That we would rather go and do that. Genuinely, it is what it is. And it just feels like that's happening. Am I wrong? Want to turn Steve Nash into John Stockton? Did Stockton turn it over quite a little bit as well? More so, they'd rather turn Steve Nash into Mario Chalmers. That's my thing. Where Mario Chalmers' job was to pass the ball to LeBron and just spot up. Chalmers never did anything. I think it's more so they'd rather have Mario Chalmers. And like, we're now at the stage where it just feels like from top to bottom. It feels like from top to bottom that the org is heavily pushing towards the risk-averse nature of this. We would rather not make mistakes than do stuff that could be great or could make us mistakes, because we're confident enough in Kelsey Mitchell. We're confident enough in Kelsey Mitchell that nobody else, we're okay with one player taking risks, because if we make this a dogfight game, and it's an ugly game, we are confident that Kelsey Mitchell is going to take us home. We're confident that Kelsey Mitchell is going to go and take us home. And look, that's fine. Because Kelsey Mitchell doesn't turn the ball over, because it's very rare that she passes. Like, it's not common. It's not common that Kelsey Mitchell passes the ball. And I don't know what the end game... Like, unless the end game is trading Caitlyn Clark, nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. But yeah, look, it is from everything, even before the game, like, everyone losing their minds at this. 170 replies to 179 likes. Like, there is the prevailing public narrative. And by the way, like, obviously an organization shouldn't be, like, they shouldn't go out of their way to change things based on fans being crazy. On crazy fans. You don't do that. That's an unserious organization. An organization that makes decisions based on fans, or based on the optics of fans, is a dumb organization. But when you know there is this narrative amongst fans that your team is against one player, and you essentially post something that could be 100% read as a sneak diss to that one player, you know what you're doing. Whoever the social media admin is, this was 100% flagged. This is when it was 100% flagged. Like, no home Plaza is trying to take shots at Caitlyn Clark when the opportunity rises. Like, they know what they're doing. You've got Lynn Dunn retweeting. Hit pieces. Rosie, make it make sense. Let the team play. No ridiculous rotations. Coach sabotaged the team. Like, and this isn't even selling out. This is giving an opinion. You're allowed. This is a completely. You're allowed to have this opinion. You are allowed to have this opinion, and I think we need to very clearly differentiate the we don't like risk. We would rather have more careful, risk-free players than risk takers, which is a fine opinion to have. We need to, and just like in the WNBA, when they deem stalkers and people finding your house and sending you an image of your house as the exact same level of online hate as saying that you're bad at basketball. Like, it's all under one umbrella. We can't put the Caitlyn Clark hater in the we just don't like her game versus the we don't like, we're going to use any excuse we can, we're going to keep moving the goalposts. Like, there's two levels of hate. One absolutely is fine, and there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with having the opinion that, you know, you'd rather a point guard make singles rather than home runs. Just like, I don't know baseball, but I assume there's probably numbers. There's probably some sort of logic to the sport that teams would rather have players that just consistently hit singles than players that go for home runs. I don't know anything about baseball, but I would assume it's the same. You look at football, like there are players like Mesut Ozil, who was one of the best players in the world, and then all of a sudden Arsenal just they didn't want him anymore because, you know, he didn't do certain things well enough, he didn't defend well enough, he didn't press well enough, and it took them 4 years to be a competent team again after basically just shunning him. Like, it happens in sports, and it is genuinely one of those things where this comment, when both the star and coach aren't system flexible and don't like the same system, it's a bad matchup. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, look, I know this isn't the end, but like, it is what it is.